Everybody, today's video is going to be an Essence tryout first impressions makeup haul combined with putting it on my face. So I have a ton of products to try out. I probably won't be able to do all of them. If you saw my last haul video, you'll see all of the products that I purchased. But I wanted to try them out today for you guys on camera and see if you guys like them or if I like them and kind of give you my first thoughts about them. So it's going to be a good way of kind of telling if any of these new products that Essence is coming out with are good to purchase. So I'm just going to jump right into it without further ado. Let's get right into this video. The first thing I'm going to do is take this micellar water. It's supposed to be good for taking off your makeup, but it's also good to clean your face. So I'm going to be using this. It says it's mild and moisturizing. I have a little pad here, so I'm just going to squeeze this into here. This is a good size for traveling. Just take out any excess makeup or dirt from overnight, because I do wash my face at night. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I wet this beauty sponge. This is the Essence Super Beauty Sponge. It did expand quite a bit and it's very squishy, so I have good hopes for this. But I'm going to do half of my face to apply the foundation with the sponge, and the other half I'm going to use this Essence Super Silly Makeup Pad. So it's one of those silicone little weird makeup applicators. I don't know how this is gonna go at all, so I do have my backup makeup sponges to the side of me right now, so I can use that. This is so weird. It feels like there's like some kind of like plastic case over this gel. I don't know if I'm gonna like this at all. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime my face. I'm going to use this new Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Primer. This is supposed to go with the foundation because it's the Fresh and Fit line, I believe. So I'm going to apply this. I can open the plastic. And this is supposed to have, let's see, ultra smooth texture with wake up effect. Let your skin instantly healthy glow. Visibly pore minimizing for an even skin tone. And has some vitamins in it to use alone or under makeup. So we'll see how this goes. It just took like a little amount. And I definitely see the glow. Pore minimizing, I won't really know too much because I have kind of smaller pores anyway, but it does leave your skin a little bit tacky, so maybe that'll be a good thing for this foundation that we're about to try out. So I'm using the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Makeup Healthy Glow, and this is supposed to give you breathable texture with wake up effect, let your skin healthy glow. Contains vitamins, says medium to high coverage without mask effect. So, it comes with a pump, which is awesome. And mine is in the shade 30 Fresh Honey. So we'll see. This was relatively inexpensive. I'm going to use the sponge on this side of my face. I'm going to dip into it on the back of my hand here and see how this applies. It definitely gives you good coverage, but it feels really lightweight. So here I can still see a lot of my regular skin like through the makeup, so it's very light. It feels really light, but I'm going to pack a little bit more on right in this area to see if it's buildable. So I'm just going to put a little bit more foundation there. This sponge does blend out really, really nicely, so it's a good sponge for blending, and it does seem to build relatively good. I would say it's more medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's full coverage, but it does do the job pretty well. So I love the sponge. First impressions on the sponge is good. Now we're going to try to apply this with this weird thing here. This silly makeup pad is what they're calling it. And we'll see how this goes. This feels so weird. I know I've seen people do videos on this, but I don't understand how this will blend things out because, like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure you're supposed to like pat and see. Apply and blend makeup quick and easy. It says use dabbing and swiping motions to blend the product into your skin. So I feel like it's kind of like sitting on top of my skin with this. Not really blending it. But it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm just so used to a sponge that this feels very, very strange to me. So this definitely oxidizes to a darker color than what's in the bottle itself, but luckily it still matches my skin. Make sure you blend it down the neck. And we're good to go, I think. So that actually did a pretty good job, and it made the product go a long way because I used more than half of my pump on this side of my face and not as much on this side. Yeah. So it's not something that's going to dry down on its own, so it does feel like kind of sticky still, but that's okay. I always set my face anyway. We're going to move on to a concealer. This is the Essence Color Correcting Liquid Concealer. Liquid Creamy Color Correcting Concealer. It's pink for visibly brightness, tired looking skin. So I'm hoping that this helps brighten the under eyes, and I have another concealer to put on top of this if I need extra concealer, because I have a feeling that this is not going to do enough for me. I have pretty bad under eye circles, so I'm going to use the sponge to blend this in to my eye, or under my eye, not in my eye. It does brighten, but that's no coverage. It's really thin. I'm going to use another new concealer that I have, and it's the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. I'm going to use this on top of that to cover, because we definitely need some coverage there. And there was no other Essence concealer that was brand new, so I just thought this would do the trick for me. I'm going to pat that in. So far, so good. I'm going to use the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder to set my face wherever I put the concealer. And I usually use this to set the center of my face. I'm using my regular brushes so I don't have like any weird biased opinion. So I use the Real Techniques setting brush to apply this kind of powder usually. Now I'm going to set the rest of my face using this Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. It's supposed to be waterproof. I'm not testing the waterproof portion of it today, but we'll see how long it makes my makeup last. I'm using my big Eco Tools full powder brush. Love this brush for setting my face. It's incredible. And the foundation has kind of set on its own anyway. So yeah, that's nice. Now we're going to bronze up the skin. I have this Luminous Matte Bronzing Powder. And there's really no shimmer in it, so I don't know why it's called Luminous. But I'm okay with it not having shimmer because I'm not the biggest fan of having shimmer. I'm not doing any crazy contouring today, but I am just going to warm up the face. Now I have some interesting products here. I have some blushes that come in these new must-haves. They're like little tiny blushes that go into a palette, but I don't have enough space in a palette for them, and I wanted to use them. So I'm going to use this color called Rosy Glow. First, I'm going to use the highlight that I have. It looks like it's going to be really subtle. So this is the highlight from the same little setup that my must-haves, and this is in the shade Let It Glow, number 1, and it looks kind of matte, so I don't think this is going to do too much for my skin, but I have a secondary highlight if I don't like this one. So I'm going to get this on the brush. I use another one of those setting brushes. So this is like really, really subtle. So the follow-up is this Chrome blush, but it's not really a blush, it's definitely a highlighter. So I'm going to try to top that and see. This one is much more blinding, and it has kind of a golden tone. There were a few of these. They're called Metal Chrome blushes. So I would see what other colors they have, but this is more of a blinding highlight. So this blush is a nice highlighter. So for blush, I'm going to use the My Must-Haves blush in the shade Rosy Glow. These I was playing with, they're super pigmented, so you only need a little bit. And I'm using my Sigma blush brush. I'm just going to put that on my cheeks. They're all satin finish, so they don't have sheen. They don't have shimmer, but they do have a sheen to them. I don't have an eye primer, so I'm going to be using my MAC Painterly Paint Pot to prime my lids, and I will be able to set that with some new shadows that I bought with from Essence. So I created my own palette. This is the My Must-Haves Essence palette, and I picked out the shades that I wanted to put in here. Anyway, I picked these out because I thought that these would be a good thing for you guys to try out if you were interested in trying out this like new build your own palette sort of thing. So I'm going to take this Chili Vanilla shade on a Wet n Wild brush, and I'm just going to set my paint pot with that so I don't have any weird skipping happening. I'm going to take the shade Movie Time, and this is a matte. So I'm going to take this on my fluffy brush and I'm going to put this through the crease to give us a transition shade. Okay, I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see a little bit more what I'm doing with these eyeshadows. I'm going to take this Coastal Scents BRC NO2 brush. It's a flat shader brush. And I'm going to pack on this shade over here called Peach Party. It's a pretty kind of sandy tan shade. And I'm going to put this on the lid. These shadows seem okay. Like they're doing the job, but there's nothing like super impressive about them. I'm going to take a smaller crease brush. This is a Glamour Dolls brush. So I'm going to take the shade right here. It's called Miss Foxy Roxy. It reminds me a lot of like a Tempting kind of shade. So I'm going to put this in the outer half of the lid and crease area to kind of warm up this look. And then I'm going to take that same shade and I'm going to swipe this under my eye just to smoke out my lower lash line because I honestly cannot leave the house without having some eyeshadow done here. It makes my eyes look bigger, so I really like that. We're going to move on to brows and then we'll come back and finish the underbrow highlight. I got this new pomade pencil by Essence. I got it in the shade Brown. So we'll see how this goes. I'm a little hesitant. I'm going to grab the spoolie from my regular pencil and just kind of spoolie through the brows. I've been kind of liking this like undone brow look, so really hesitant about this. We'll see how this goes. So it's really creamy, so you gotta be careful with that. This comes with like this weird like brush thing on the bottom, so I'm not really sure what that is, but we'll see. So I'm just kind of flicking that up and doing my usual routine with my brows just with this pencil. I like the color of it. It doesn't read too dark or too warm or anything. It's kind of sticking to what I like, which is just like a really subtle brown color. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put finish up my brows and I will be right back to do the rest of the face. So I realized that I can show you the last product that I use because it is an Essence product that like a holy grail for me, and this is the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara, and I get the shade Blondie Brows because I like to lighten up the brow hairs. And I've been brushing up the hairs so they look more undone and natural. But it's really nice. I really like this. I've been using it for a really long time now. The pencil itself is actually really nice. The only downside to it, oh, I put it in here. The only downside is it is really creamy, but it did a really good job, and I'm actually really happy with how my brows look today. So I think that this is a really awesome product if you are interested in trying out a new brow product. I'm going to go back into this palette, and I'm going to take the shade right here, which is my Goldie, and I'm going to use that as my highlight, and I'm going to mix it with the Chili Vanilla shade so it's not too shimmery, because I usually kind of carve out my brows with this to brighten up that area. So I got these long-lasting eye pencils. I got it in Hot Chocolate and in Black Fever. So I'm going to use Black Fever to just tightline my upper waterline because it is supposed to be a long-lasting pencil. So I don't usually wear really black eyeliner, but we'll see how this goes today. It's really creamy. It's really easy to apply. And then I'm going to use the brown liner, and I'm going to just kind of do like a couple little line, like a really, really thin line right along the lashes. They're really creamy, so this is really easy to apply. I'm just hoping it doesn't like move too much throughout the day. It's easy to make mistakes with this because it is so creamy. You just have to be really careful, but it looks pretty good. And I'm going to do a little bit right along my lashes. Not on the waterline, but on my actual lashes to kind of bring some volume there. And then I have a new mascara to try out. It is the Essence hashtag Lashes of the Day Super Volume Mascara. Looks like this. So we'll see how this goes. This is supposed to be waterproof, I think, but we'll see how this goes. Okay, so don't mind my hair. I have to like curl it and it looks like a freaking disaster. The mascara I really, really like. It applies beautifully and it's really, really black and it's really voluminous, so I like absolutely love this. But let's see here. The last thing I want to do is lips. I got quite a few lip liners, so I'm going to use this one. This is the Soft Contouring Lip Liner in Big Proposal. This is a pencil lip liner. I also got some that were retractable. Okay, now I'm going to fill it in. I like this color, easy to work with. It's not super creamy, but just creamy enough. And then for lips, I have a lipstick that I really want to use. This is the Instant Color number 8, which is called Eternal Beauty. It is like My Lips But Better color. Really creamy. The stick itself is like on such a slant that it's kind of hard to apply. And then I've really been into glossy lips, so I've been wanting to try this. This is the Essence Shine 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 Wet Looking Lip Gloss. This is in the shade Happiness in a Bottle. Oh, and it smells really good. Super high shine. It's not sticky though. And yeah, so this is the final look. I will do a check-in later and let you guys know my final thoughts on the products that I used, but so far I'm really impressed with a lot of them and I'm loving them. There are a few that I'm a little iffy about, but this is awesome. Like, I really like the look that I came up with, and I will let you guys know how everything wears later. Hey guys, I'm back for my check-in. So I've had it on for over 8 hours now. So the brow stuff I'm completely in love with. So this pomade pencil, the Essence Superlast 24-Hour Eyebrow Pomade Pencil, waterproof. I absolutely love how this makes my brows look. My brows have looked perfect. They haven't moved. Let me zoom you in so you guys can see. I just feel like they still look really good. I'm really happy with how they're turning out, how they're lasting. So I'm in love with this pencil. This is a highly recommend. For the blush, love the blush. It has stayed put all day. I think it's really, really pretty on the face, and it looks really nice. Like, it hasn't faded at all. It just looks like it's the perfect tone. It looks very pigmented. It doesn't get patchy. It just looks really smooth. So my must-haves satin blushes I absolutely love as well. I have 3 shades of those. I have Strawberry Smoothie, Coral Dream, and the one I'm wearing is Rosy Glow. So those are awesome. I highly recommend those as well. This mascara, the Essence Hashtag Lashes of the Day, I love. It hasn't budged or smudged at all today. I think the lashes look really good, nice and separated. It doesn't give you a ton of length, but it doesn't claim to. It claims to give you super volume. I love the wand because it's very small and petite, so it can really get into those lashes. It's buildable, it's fabulous, and I think that this is a huge hit for me. I love that. Something that I'm not super fond of would be the primer. I don't see my foundation lasting much longer because it started to crease pretty quickly right around my mouth where it usually creases. I usually get creases here because of my like smile lines, but yeah, I mean, they're not as bad as normal, but I could just see it wearing pretty fast. And then right here where I have some buildup, some oil buildup right here, and the creases in my forehead from my expression lines, like, it just doesn't seem to hold that for too long. I saw those creases pretty early on throughout the day. They haven't gotten any worse, but I wouldn't say that this is like the best primer out there. There's definitely other ones you should try first. The highlighter powder from the My Must-Haves and Let It Glow is okay. It's a very light sheen. It doesn't give too much of a shimmery or a banging, beaming highlight. It's okay. It's very subtle, but I wouldn't recommend spending your money on that one. But this blush that I used as a highlight, the Metal Chrome blush in My Name is Rosé Gold. This one, which is more of it's supposed to be a blush, which is sheerly, like, it's totally a highlight. Loved this. I think it's really, really nice, and it's lasted a lot. As you can see, it might have faded a teeny bit, but for the most part, it's still there. So I really love this. For the setting powder, I liked the brightening powder. I have to test it out a little bit more to compare it to my banana powder that I get from NYX, but it's okay. I didn't see like a huge difference in the brightening capacity, but if I were to use this with my usual concealer, I wonder how that would play out. So I'm going to try that more with some other concealers. The All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. This is supposed to be good for touch-ups throughout the day, and it's supposed to be waterproof. I have been outside. It's crazy snow outside where I live, and I've been snow plowing or snow blowing. I've been out and about getting wet in the snow, and I think this has lasted pretty well. I just don't know if I'm completely in love with it. Let's see what it does if I were to use it as like a touch-up powder. So I'm going to put some right where the oil has built up throughout the day. It seems to mattify everything pretty fast, but it doesn't look super clean. I don't know. I'd have to play with this one a little bit more as well, but it so far is like an okay product for me. The bronzer I really like. I liked the tone of the bronzer. I think it went on really nice and smooth. This is the Luminous Matte Bronzing Powder for light skin, so there's another shade for this, or 2 other shades. But I do really like this. It doesn't really give you like a glow, but it definitely bronzes your face really nice and makes you look healthy. So I really like the bronzer a lot. I will continue to use that for sure. For the concealer, this Essence Color Correcting Liquid Concealer, I would pass on this. It doesn't give you really any coverage. It doesn't really brighten all that much, and I think it's just kind of an extra unnecessary step. But if you have really like no dark under eye circles, I think you could get away with this, but that is on your own discretion. So if you want to purchase it, you can. If not, I think it's a good miss as well. The eyeliners have lasted all day. My waterline still has the black on it, and my eyeliner that I did like a really thin line is still absolutely perfect. It looks like it hasn't moved at all today. So these liners, which are the long-lasting eye pencils, I really, really love, and I think you guys should try those ones out. The two methods of putting on the foundation, let's see. So I think they actually both worked really well. I actually will use this weird sponge thing. It does take a little bit longer to blend out for me, but I think it did a really good job. I didn't really see a difference in either way of application with the foundation, so either of these are pretty good. I guess it's more of like a preference thing. So I recommend both the Beauty Sponge and the Silly Blending Sponge, Silly Makeup Pad. So these two things are pretty good for me. I love this foundation. I got a couple of compliments today on my skin. I think it's lasted pretty well, like compared to my other foundations that I use. I don't really see a huge difference. I actually really like it. It hasn't worn off here, and like where it usually wears out here is on my chin. There's a little bit of wear on it, but other than that, like I think it stayed put pretty well, and I love the color. I loved the way it looked on my skin. It made my skin look really fresh and awake, which is the whole idea. It just made me look really lively and good and like warm and happy. So I really, really like that a lot. That is a big plus for me. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, the eyeshadows. So some of these eyeshadows I love and some of them I don't. This shade here, like this one, which is the My Foxy Roxy shade, I really, really like. The blending shade I used in the very beginning is So-So. This shade I really like. This gold shade I really like, but this one I could pass on. I know I didn't use every single shade in here, but I think you just kind of have to play it color by color. Some of them are good and some of them aren't, but I think for the price, each one of those are individually $1.99, so they're really cheap, and I like the concept of building your own palette. I think they need some warmer color selection because I do remember a lot of them were cooler tones, but overall I think this is a pretty good product. Yeah, so those are all the products I just wanted to talk about really quickly. I hope you enjoyed this first impressions video where I tested out a ton of new products. If you liked any of these products, I recommend you go and get them because they're really inexpensive, and you can get them at Ulta, and I'm sure you can get them other places, but Ulta is the place where I purchased mine. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye guys.